All right, this is a quick review, graphing linear functions. And so we have the linear function up here above, and it's in set builder notation. Don't let that throw you off. Let me read it for you. This is the set of all x, y pairs such that y equals negative 2x plus 1. That's actually your function, where x equals negative 1, 2, and 3. All right, so really the key is what's boxed there, and that's the function y equals negative 2x plus 1, and the x equals negative 1, 2, and 3 is your domain. So it's telling you you only have values of x of negative 1, 2, and 3. Therefore, when you graph this, you're going to get points. And that's important that you remember that and understand that. All right, we can figure out the points by an XY chart. So we have to use the values of the domain, negative 1, a 2, and a 3. All right, and so remember, each time you're simply going to put that into the function. So the first time where the x is, we're going to put in negative 1. Negative 2 times a negative 2 is a positive 2. 2 and 1 is 3. And we get the point negative 1, 3. And we're going to do this for all three. All right, so again, you would do the exact same thing. And for time's sake, I would put a 2 in there. I'd get negative 4 plus 1, and that's a negative 3. And then I would put 3 in. Negative 2 times 3 is a negative 6 and 1, and that's a negative 5. Okay, so graphing these, I have a point at negative 1, 1 left, and 3 up. I have a point at 2 right and 3 down. And I have a point at 3 right and 5 down, which would be right about there. And again, no line between them because it's just points for the domain. Now, if you look at this second example, again, we're still in set builder notation, but notice they didn't tell you a domain. That means the domain is all the real numbers. So in this situation, the domain is all real numbers. And that means we're going to get a line. Now we're going to get a line. Okay, so let's go ahead and graph this. Again, you want an XY chart. Let me start up here with it. And this time I get to choose any value I want for the independent variable, the x. And so 0 is always a nice one to use. So I choose values of x and I figure out what y goes with it. So again, I'm going to put a 0 in where the x is, right? I'm doing the function, putting a 0 in, and 3 times 0 is 0, and I get negative 4. So I got the point 0, negative 4. All right, my next point, I'm just going to use 1. So again, same thing, right? I'm going to put in 1. And so 3 times 1 is 3. 3 positives, 4 negatives gives you a negative 1. And the last time, I'm just going to do 2. It's my choice. I can do any points I want, but I don't want to choose gigantic values because then I'm going to have a big coordinate plane. All right, and so put in 2. 2 times 3 is 6. 6 minus 4 is 2. And there's our third point. So I'm going to plot the points. I always like to do 3 because they should always be in a line. 0, negative 4, right there. 1, negative 1, right there. And 2, 2, right there. And don't forget now, these we connect with a line because remember, it's every point. And remember, it keeps going. That's why the arrowhead, this point, that point, this one, this one, this one, this one, that one, forever that way, and all these down here forever that way, right? And so there's an infinite set of x, y pairs. Why? Because the domain is all the real numbers. All right, graphing linear functions.